This is the Why I Hate and Love Pickleball podcast. I'm Bill Wong. Today's episode is about pickleball mental fitness, enhancing focus, performance under pressure, and unlocking hidden potential. I'm a pickleball instructor at a fitness club in Westlake, and I had two situations recently. I had a clinic of we were doing serving, and I wanted to showcase how well they were doing, so I had everyone go to one court. We had two teams of two, and to show off their serving. And they cracked. For some reason, they couldn't
Mm.
serve the life of them, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I had another situation where I was playing against two at an open play at some people I didn't know. One individual I was playing against was playing phenomenally. When I partnered with him, he was playing terribly, and he mentioned to me
Mm.
afterwards, "You intimidated me. You made me nervous." I'm like, "Me? I'm 5'7", an old man. How could I intimidate you?" So I have a special guest on. I've been looking forward to this podcast for weeks. Um, Dr. Eric Korem is an innovative leader in human performance who's implemented the NFL's first sports science programs. He's helped high performance individuals at the NCAA and coached Olympic gold medalists, and endorsed by Duper and pro players such as Zane Navratil and Megan Fudge. I'm hoping he can help my Duper
Hmm.
rating, but I don't think he can do that. And he's also the CEO and founder of AIM7, an app that provides access to injury prevention programs, ultra personalized warm ups, cool downs, mobility exercises tailored to individuals' unique and specific needs. So I'm going to bring on Eric right now. Eric, how are you doing, man?
Man, thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to dig into this conversation on mental performance.
Yeah, like I said, I've been looking for this for weeks. But your resume is so long, I had to narrow it down because it's so impressive and long. But what are you most proud of all the accomplishments that you've done, and then why?
Well, I would say I'm probably most proud of my family, being a father and a husband for almost 16 years, being married for almost 16 years, and being a father of three is probably my number one thing I'm proud of. And it's a work in progress. So you're always trying to be a better dad and husband. From a professional standpoint, about 13 years ago, I brought athlete in game tracking technologies to the US from Australia. So I was working in American football at Florida State, and nobody had ever tracked athletes in games and in practice. And we were putting these telemetry devices on the pads of the players. And we created the first data model for what's actually happening during a football game. And we were able to use that information to create better training programs. And in one season, our team had an 88% reduction in injury. We won a championship, and it really opened a multi-billion-dollar market for sports wearables. And that was a kind of a gutsy call on my part because I was putting my job on the line. I went to this foreign country, brought back a suitcase of these devices. At the time, I'm at one of the premier college programs with a coach was climbing the ladder. And to his credit, he gave me the opportunity to do some very innovative things. And we had a loaded roster and great coaches, but we were able to elevate their performance. And as a young guy cutting my teeth in elite football, I'd say I look back on that and be like, man, I was nuts, but I followed my convictions.
Nice. Well, and we need more courage today. When you
Mm.
say in-game tracking, are you saying real time?
Yeah. So if you ever watch an NFL game now and it says like your favorite player is running 21 miles an hour down the field and says like AWS next gen stats, that's
Hmm.
this. So we were putting these devices, they're about the size of a deck of cards back then. And I had to duct tape them to the pads of the players, and they connected to GPS satellites, and they had accelerometers and gyroscopes and magnetometers, all this crazy stuff. And I could sit there on a laptop, and with heart rate monitors, I could see your heart rate, I could see how fast you're running, all sorts of data on you. And then we would capture these millions of data points, and they'd be like, okay, a receiver in a college football game is running like 7 to 8,000 yards in a game, but maybe 1,500 high speed yards. That's a lot. Where a lineman was only sprinting like 80 to 100 yards in a game, and most of the time that was from the sideline to the field. And so we're like,
Exactly.
why is everybody training the same in the off season? And so like it just really flipped things on its head. And then we started looking at our practice structure and how everything lines up to a game. And so we just started applying some basic reverse engineering principles. But now I'm applying those same type of thought processes to the game of pickleball, right? Using data and other tools, and along with, having a unique expertise across strength conditioning and sports medicine and sports psychology, and kind of how do you combine all this to create a program for a pickleball player that helps them win more, recover faster, prevent pain and injuries, and so they can just be on the court with their friends and have fun. And if they want to go from a 3-0 to a 5-0, or play in more tournaments and win more and not choke under pressure, that they can have the tools to do that.
And is that the brain? Is that the inspiration for Aim 7?
Yeah, so I wanted to bring ultra personalized wellness to anybody in the world. And I knew that now, with the proliferation of wearable technology and all the data you can capture on your smartphone, that we could do that. And pickleball was like the beachhead market. Like,
Did you
it's
did you say picklehead?
yeah, I combined two words, pickleball and beachhead. But I saw
I'm a picklehead.
yeah, you and me too. I think there's a website for that. But I saw that there was this massive audience of people that were underserved. Nobody was really in a scalable way, like addressing their physical and mental wellness and performance. And so I was like, let's focus there first and focus on pickleball players, because it's so diverse. You got 18 to 70 plus playing the game. And there's 50 million people in America that have played the sport the past 12 months. And I wanted to kind of plant the flag in the ground and bring the experts I knew into this field and be like, let's be the health and human performance solution for pickleball.
I have a question for you to back up a little bit. When you were saying you had a little bit of pushback initially in the young part of your career, what were the initial roadblocks, or what was the initial thinking concerns that the powers that be had when you're trying to move forward with this?
It's very insightful,
With it,
Bill. It was the old guard that was scared. So in sports, in almost anything, but really in sports, it's like, hey, look, I was with Nick Saban. We won a national championship, and this is how we did it. I coached with Bill Belichick, and this is exactly how we did it, regardless of the fact that they had Tom Brady, right? So what happens is you have this kind of like,
a small little detail, right?
right, you have these cookie cutter, like, this is what we did, so we're gonna we're in a different place, different time, different program, different people, and this is exactly what we're gonna do. And then you interject a little bit of like data driven decision making. Like football is like sports is a science and an art.
Absolutely.
Now, because of the data that we have, we're treating it more like, hey, there's like you should like, hey, there's specific things that like are not like you can't argue with. Like players do this in a game. This is the requirements. This is what happens to their bodies. So we should use that data to inform our processes. We know that the answers to the test for pickleball are there. We know basically how long the match lasts, what it looks like from a energetic standpoint, what energy systems you use during doubles versus singles play, and you know that there's a mental part of the game. You know that there's a physical part. You know that you need to do a warm up and a cool down and hydrate and fuel. And so now that we have all the answers to the test, people just need to plan. And so early on, it was like, whoa, 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 like Eric, 8 years ago we won a national title doing this, and I'm like, I don't care. Like like I
You
never
said that
said
in your
that
head.
to.
You didn't say that out
No,
loud,
of
did you?
course I
You
would
said,
not. There's 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 wisdom that is
yes.
attained, and you can create heuristics or rules of thumb or principles, right? But if you look at innovation in technology or medical field, like nobody sits there and goes, well, this was the science of 15 years ago, and so that's what we're going to do. They're like, great, you're going to be broke and people are never going to get better, right? So it's like everything layers on top of itself. And the most innovative and world, people that make a change in our world use past experience, but then also live in the current present world. And so there was a lot of pushback and there was a lot of mistakes I made,
Mhm.
but we all ended up working together and we won. And we use this in our own unique way to help our players be healthy and to go on the field and do what they could do. And so that story has been
Bravo.
repeated over and over and over again since then.
Yeah, bravo. Very good.
Thanks.
What do you think some of the getting back to our topic about focus and
Yeah.
performance under pressure? What do you probably see a lot of pickleball players, not only from the amateur level, and you got your smile to professionals. What do you see as a common theme or common pattern that you see, and then what are some of the things that we as I really believe that some of the pickleball professionals are almost inhuman, just like Tom
Hmm.
Brady is not really human, at least from the world I know. I don't know your level, but
I'm
I'm a
so
good
glad
level,
you
but
just
not
said
that level.
this
What do you see some
because, well,
pattern?
what?
Yeah, what are some patterns that you see, and then what are some of the solutions or ways that you can think about some of these challenges to overcome them? Like the example I gave at the beginning, where
Yeah.
people are looking at them, all of a sudden they crack, or people have some sort of feeling toward their partner and they feel intimidation and again they start to collapse and that could be in a game situation, it could be at a tournament, it could be anything.
I'm glad you bring this up because there is a myth that champions never experience uncomfortable thoughts, emotions, and feelings, and that is completely
Mhm.
false. I worked for 14 years in Olympic track and field with a number of Olympic gold medalists. And I have a quick story for you. There was
Okay.
a gentleman by the name of Sir Chris Hoy. He's the greatest Olympic cyclist of all time, 6 Olympic gold medals. This is the GOAT of cycling.
Yeah.
And somebody asked him what it felt like to race in an Olympic finals, and he said it felt like he was going to the gallows, like he was going to be executed, right? So if you think you feel uncomfortable when Bill Wong steps on the court, or if Ben Johns were to line up in front of you, imagine, and I've been at the world championships of track and field, and where you train for 4 years for something that lasts 15 seconds. Imagine the pressure, and so here's something that I want everybody to like write down and pause and just take a second, write this down. If
Got my pen.
the outcome of a future event is uncertain and important, and you're going to be judged on it, you should expect to feel uncomfortable. If the outcome of a future event is important and uncertain, and you're going to be judged on it, expect to be uncomfortable. But how you feel doesn't have to determine how you perform. And so I want to talk about this term mental fitness, and then I'm going to give you something you can actually do. So, mental fitness is the ability to be consciously present and to process information that's coming at you without bias. This empowers you to respond quickly and rationally to changing circumstances through committed actions anchored in your training and your values. So when you're under pressure, let's say in a pickleball match or in a boardroom or in a very difficult conversation, information's coming at you. And if you let how you feel dictate how you respond, you're not going to respond in a way that's aligned with your training or your values. And so a mentally fit person can do this and do this really, really well. And it takes practice. And so, what you want as an athlete, let's say as a pickleball player, is control of your attention. Because as my friend Dr. Peter Haberl says, he's the former senior psychologist for the US Olympics, attention is the currency of performance. What every great
Love that.
athlete, yeah, that's a golden statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like what every great athlete wants is control their attention. And so go back to our friend Sir Chris Hoy, right? When he was in that difficult situation, what he then said is, I would then shift my attention to my grip on the steering wheel, or my butt in the seat, or my feet in the clips, so that I could then go when the gun went off. So he's like, okay, I acknowledge that I feel like I'm gonna die. Okay, the pressure's so crazy. I want to throw up, right? But if I know that I feel this way, then I can shift my attention to an action that I can take confidently. So let's say you're playing pickleball and things are, either getting heated or like now, oh, hey, I need you to go demonstrate this in front of the group. And you're like, all of a sudden you feel nervous, right? You get that little jolt in your body. I'm going to give you something you can do here in a second, but if you can be conscious enough to go, this is how I feel, and now go, okay, what am I going to do? All right, I'm going to get set up for the serve. I like to bounce the ball 3 times, and then I'm going to do X, 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 right? And then you go from I'm hostage to my emotions to now I'm in the driver's seat. And this has to be something that can be practiced. And so the best way to practice attentional control is mindfulness. So mindfulness is a tool. It's probably one of the best tools you can use to train how you control your attention. It's not a religious practice, although you can make it one. But really, all it is the ability to sit there, or I can give you different ways you can do this, but I like to use my breath. And what you're doing is you're honing in on a physical sensation, like you just literally close your eyes and observe your breath. And what's going to happen during that time is you're going to try to observe every nuance of the breath, the inhalation, the exhalation. Your mind's going to wander off, right? It's going to chase some little squirrel. And then you're going to be like, oh, geez, like I'm thinking about the bills. And then you bring your mind back. At that time, you don't really want to judge yourself. That's actually when the magic happens in your brain, and your brain starts to have plastic changes. And you start training your ability to notice when you're distracted, and you start expanding your capability to maintain focus. And research at Amisha Jha's lab at the University of Miami shows that just around 10 to 12 minutes a day, 5 days a week, literally changes the structure of your brain and your ability to stay focused. It reduces anxiety, prevents mind wandering. So I'm going to pause there, but this is like a critical thing for players to understand. Like, you're going to feel uncomfortable. If you can control your attention, then you can take action anchored in your training.
Before I usually play, I really try to, in some ways, I try not to care, but do care.
Mm,
And I do have a very light grip. And something that's very important for me is being self aware of those feelings, which is maybe I'm practicing some of this. I didn't even realize it. And also to be open minded to, hey, this is a situation that I'm not comfortable with. So I
mm.
practice and do some of these things, and maybe I'm not even realizing it.
You probably are. I mean, you're an intuitive person. One of the things that we do, so like breath work, you've heard of breath work before, like cadenced breathing. So there's different types of breath work to do different things to the body. So if you want to calm yourself down, you would do long duration exhales. So let's say you just double your exhale to inhale duration. So you breathe in for 4, out for 8, and that will literally calm what's called your autonomic nervous system. If you need to hype yourself up, you just switch it. Long duration or vigorous inhales, short exhales, or you can do this like in and out type of breathing. What we do in our app is, like, before people even step on the court, we have a little breathwork tool in there. Or in your car, you can do 3 or 4 minutes of this kind of excitatory breath work. But when you focus on your breath, do you know what you're also doing? You're training mindfulness,
Mm.
because you're having to think and maintain focus on the breathing. So, like, it's kind of this 2 in 1. I think it's really good. Even if you had 2 minutes or 3 minutes in your car, like, I just got off work, I'm going to go play, I want to transition now. Or you're about to go play in a tournament and you've been thinking all these crazy thoughts, close your eyes, do a little cadence breath work, and then step on the court and take action. And it kind of like brings you back into yourself.
Great. Okay. I love it. Give us a couple little nuggets that we can work on. So, actually, did a nice segue into your AIM 7.
Oh,
How did you initially think about this, and why is it AIM 7? What happened to 6, or why isn't it
yeah.
8? Is there a significance to the number 7?
Yeah. So I wanted AIM as the name of the company, and I couldn't get AIM.com. That's AOL Instant Messenger, and they're never going to give that up. So we were thinking about, like, we want to guide you in the right direction, and we want to be with you all the time. And seven's kind of like a number of completion. There's 7 days in a week. So it's like we're moving you in the right direction. We're with you all the time. And so that was, and then we started looking at the branding, and it just kind of, the 7 is kind of a 7 and an arrow at the same time. So
Oh,
that's
not seen
that's how
that.
we,
Nice.
yeah, you kind of got to look at it, and a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's how that got started, and people liked it. They, so it stuck.
I wasn't sure if there's 3 or 4 iterations that I wasn't aware of, but
No.
and we could talk a little bit about your app, and I went on it just a little bit.
Uh,
I was only able to get, like, a sample part of it, and I want you to talk about, because it looked like there's many sections, everything from pre-match to post-match, and some of
yeah.
the, different sections. So why don't you just give us a little preview?
Yeah. So we built kind of a comprehensive performance system. So they kind of meet you where you are in your journey. So pre-match, it's ultra personalized warm-ups. Everybody needs to be doing a warm-up before they play for two big reasons. One, it prevents injury. Number two, it'll help you start faster. And so you can say, I've got 7 minutes or 5 minutes. I want an easy warm up and I have a 5x5 space. Like it's all customized and you click one button and it's a video step by step demonstration. You could be more advanced and like, I want a 10-minute warm up. I want it to be more complex movements. And so we have that. Then we have, when you're done, and then we also have the breath work tool right there that you can use to kind of get your nervous system ramped up and to help you focus before you go on the court. Then when you're done playing, we have cool downs, same way, video instructions for stretching, breath work tools that also to help your body calm down, you can do in the car. And then we have nutrition and hydration recommendations, what you should eat before, during, and after, how much fluid you can consume, and it's all based off of you. We got a lot of requests for that, and we're building a ton of features around that right there. And then off the court, we built mobility plans for every major joint in the body. So your knee or your hip or your low back or your elbow, right? Like it's either hurting or you want to improve mobility. There's a 12-week program with Dr. Kyle Richmond in there for every one of those. We have ultra personalized workouts that are tailored to your time demands, equipment, and they adjust daily with how much stress your body can handle. So, I mean, this is like some very sophisticated stuff in the back end, but it's all videos. And then we built a full suite of mental performance tools from in education. So we have an online community where you can go in there and you can go watch a series from Dr. Peter Haberl on how to use mindfulness to improve your performance, or how to lead yourself better from Dr. Alex Arbach, the former head of wellness and development for the Raptors. But we have breathwork tools, mindfulness, gratitude journals. And then we have personalized sleep and recovery recommendations. So we built this entire system like, hey, we're going to help you play better pickleball, but we're also going to help you become a healthier, more vibrant human being. And we're building a ton of new features for the pickleball players. But right now, people are loving it. Just the daily action of a warm up and a cool down is going to dramatically improve how you feel. It's going to improve your mobility on the court and reduce risk of injury. Then you take the next step with a workout mobility training, it can elevate things to another level. I can't tell you how many players have reached out to us, senior pros to 5-0 players in their 20s, and they're like, man, I started warming up and doing a resistance training plan and I'm playing so much better. I'm like, isn't it amazing? So,
Yeah.
we're here for anybody on any part of their journey.
And from experience as an instructor and also with
Yeah.
people I work with, we don't focus enough on many of the aspects you talked about, not only the breathing. Actually, I just did a class the other day, and we just started to focus on your breathing. I probably didn't do it to the level that you do, but and also hydration,
Mm,
mobility. I don't think people understand that. People think this is a hitting and striking sport. This is a movement sport, and to be properly
100%.
hydrate. What? No, and it is. It's almost like boxing is not a hitting sport. It's a movement sport, and people don't get it, and people don't understand how much fluids that you require every hour depending on the humidity and the heat. I don't know, 20 was it 20 to 35 ounces of fluids depending on your age. And I think this is wonderful. How long did it take you to develop this? When did you come up with this brainchild, and how long has it been in development?
We started AIM 7. I incorporated in 2020. The first version of the app came out about 12 months ago. It took us about 12 months to build it. And then we found the pickleball community, and then we niched down. Like we really started building all these features for pickleball, and then once we realized that people were loving it, they were sticking with it, and it was growing, then we're like, we're all in on pickleball. So we just released on October 1 this brand new app that is 100% pickleball focused, and it's been a lot of money, millions of
I'm sure.
dollars, and we have investors, and we're 100% in on pickleball. Like I said, we're planting a flag in the ground that we're your health and human performance team, and we want to help people stay healthy, win more, recover faster, and be more vibrant. So what people see now is a world-class app, and we're about to take it to a whole nother level over the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, I just got a notice when I signed up that there was a new release coming out, or it just came out.
It just
I have a
came
question for
out.
you. So,
Yeah.
oh, it's out already? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you started, it was more broad, but now you're
Yep.
moving closer and focusing only. So, is the app specific for pickleball players,
Just
or is there a
pickleball.
segment of it?
So it's just pickleball. Like literally the company is 100% for pickleball because we noticed that like if you're going to serve this community to really be all in, like you really need to have an app that's focused on their needs. And the resistance training, now there's tools in there that you can use for other parts of your life, right? So you'll get like personalized recommendations, like if you like to go do the elliptical, we'll tell you how long and how hard you should go each day based off of how you're
Mhm.
adapting to stress. There's some really cool features under there. Our team of sports scientists, we built some unique algorithms. You can leverage all of this stuff, but yes, we're 100% for pickleball. We are the number one and the only app in the App Store focused on this, which is great.
Nice. Oh,
Let's keep it
yeah.
that way.
So, yeah. So I saw your face light up when you talked about a couple of features that you were really proud of. Why don't you just talk
Right.
about that? So into
Yeah.
a little bit more detail because I saw your face light up. Obviously, one, you're obviously a pickleball player, and then two, you're a founder of a company. So
Yeah.
this is your baby. So I'm giving
Yeah.
you a chance to talk about your child. So what are the one or two features that made your face light up?
Yeah. One of the things that we do, I would say, that separates us from some of the biggest tech companies in the world, their CEOs use our product of these wearable companies. So if you have a wearable device, we're going to unlock the power of that device. We suck in all of your wearable data, and then every day we have our customers fill out this quick survey on how they feel, their energy, their mood, their stress, and then everything is customized to them. We're taking the same capabilities that we used to give to multi-million dollar athletes, and we're giving that to somebody for less than $10 a month. So like everything in the app is tailored to you and how
Right.
you feel that day and what your body needs. And we're going to be expanding these features, but we're building that personalized coach that would be too much to pay. Does that make sense? Like my
Yeah,
goal is that you
absolutely.
have a strength and conditioning coach, a mobility coach, a sports psychologist, an dietitian, and we make this affordable for anybody. And so we focused on pickleball because we're like, who's serving pickleball players? There's almost going to be $500 million in injuries this year. And I want people to be healthy on the courts and with their friends. And so that's why I'm proud of this thing.
Okay. And I'm gonna have a little pushback. At the company that I'm working for, they have a part of a side app, and they're doing something for the month of October. And my
Mhm.
challenge is I automatically do a lot of it. Not only the protein, hydration,
Yeah.
sleeping, stretching, and they have these other things. And for me, being the type of person I am, to go in there and click on little things every day isn't the way I want to spend my day.
Right.
So, what is the pushback? I mean, I'm sure people have some of the challenges of using an app. What are some of the challenges you found for getting people to be engaged in the app and to use it?
Yeah. So when we first put out the warm ups, people liked it, but they're like, it was so cool. We got feedback from coaches really fast. They're like,
Mhm.
Eric, you need to have different durations, different levels of intensity. So from my like 2-0 player to my 4-0 player, and then different court spacings. So you literally go in the app and then you click one button and you can set the phone down and watch the whole thing. We have made it so easy to use. It takes very few clicks to do anything. And I'll just say this, people, when they sign up, stick with us. Our churn rate, meaning the percentage of customers that are leaving us every month, is less than 3%. That's Facebook good.
Wow.
The average
Yeah.
fitness app will lose 60% of their customers in the first month. We're retaining almost 90% in that first month.
Wow.
So it's like we built something that's very special and it's tailored for pickleball players. And then when people write in, we're listening. We're out on the courts playing. We're working with the pros and the major certifying bodies. Like we partner with the PPR. We're now in their coaching curriculum. So
Mm,
like we are like embedding ourselves into pickleball and we're like, how can we be the best resource and make this super easy to use? And I'll just tell you one quick story.
sure.
There's this, I was in Katy, Texas playing pickleball. And I first launched the company and I'm showing this people this the first version of the app, and this everybody's like, you gotta talk to Julio. I'm like, all right. Julio's like the guy, right? He's really good. He's drinking a beer. He's everybody's buddy. I'm like, Julio, why won't you warm up? And he kind of points around. He goes, well, I don't see anybody else doing it. I was like, well, Julio, just be weird. Warm up, man. And that's what we got these t-shirts now we call, people love them. They buy them like crazy. And so Julio downloaded the app. And a few weeks later, I get a text message and there's a video of him he took at the US Open warming up before he played. And then he sent me another video of him on the podium. And now he's posting all over social media. And he's like, Eric, I was such a fool for not doing this because I'm starting faster. I play better. And then that's the kind of feedback we're getting. Like, as soon as, and then they start doing it with their friends. So we're trying to make something that people aren't doing become normal. And that's hard. But like eventually we're creating a movement. And so whether it was running or cycling or whatever the sport is, at the beginning stages, you have to educate people, and then what was not normal becomes normal, and we're here to help people on that journey.
Mm. Okay. Beautiful. I love it. I love the story. I love the
Thanks,
courage that
Bill.
you had not only to get wearables in at the NFL, but also doing this to try to help a community. That's beautiful. I guess
Cheers.
one or two of my last questions are when you find at the professional level versus an amateur, are there any types of challenges that they have that are different from us, or it's the same challenges? It's just at a different, more intense level.
I think both, but I'll say one of their biggest challenges is travel. When you're dealing with the top pros, like we got a couple of them, they're traveling all the time. So we're working with them on like, how do we keep you from burning out from all the travel? And then it's a combination of how to structure your week leading into a tournament when it's back to back to back to back. So they're not coming into the tournament flat. And that's what we have a big expertise in this. We actually, like I was telling you, we just launched and we have all these manuals now for tournament play. And we're
Mhm.
building features in the app for those tournament players where you can be like, hey, 6, 8 weeks from now, I have a tournament. I want to peak for that tournament. And then we'll start building your program towards that event. Or I'm in a weekly league. So like that's that's where we're going to take things to a level where people have never seen in amateur sport. We're giving you the same thing the pros have, but I would say the pros struggle with the travel. The amateurs, everybody's trying to get better, right? The pros are trying to get better, but the margin of getting better shrinks when you're a pro. When you're an amateur, if you have good practice, you drill, you take care of your body, and you get adequate sleep. Sleep is the so important to the learning process. You can learn really, really fast. When
Yeah.
you're a pro, now we're talking about, like I sent one of our players to one of the top sports vision doctors in the world so he could get like to find like that fraction of a percent where he can improve his reaction time. So, you know, there is a difference. Everybody's trying to get better. It's just the margin and how quickly it can happen.
Yeah. You had a couple of ifs. If someone gets enough sleep, if someone drills, if
Oh
something,
yeah.
people don't like to drill. People don't like to warm up. And it's a an upward, it's a hard for instructors to get them just go on the court and practice a shot time, hundreds, thousands of balls, and people just won't do it. And it's a struggle.
Yeah, there's the gamut. There's the person that wants to play once or twice a week, just go dink around and that's it. And then there's the person that wants to be able to play in a tournament, play in a league. And right now, the people that really love Aim 7 are people that are playing a league, playing a tournament, or trying to get better. Because this is a work program, let's be honest. If you want to get better at anything, a relationship, a skill at work, or pickleball, you have to be willing to put in some work. It's not just going to happen. And so I'm a coach. I've been coaching elite athletes and college athletes, 17-year-old knuckleheads to 36-year-old multimillionaires. It's the same thing for everybody. If you want to get better, there's some basic things you have to do. If you don't do them, expect the same results, which is poor performance, or get injured
And
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 blow
you
out your
were
Achilles.
yeah, yeah. And you were talking about the travel. What is the thing about
Yeah.
traveling that is so exhausting? Is it just I've got to find a
Changing the
place to
time
wash my
zones,
clothing?
it's
Yeah.
changing time zones. It's your body's not to meant to go up in 30,000 feet in the air in a compressed tube. So there's pressure changes that are occurring. Your schedule gets messed up. Your digestive system can get issue. It's a stress. It's a stress on the system. And then you're supposed to show up and then be in peak form. And so there's a way to kind of stimulate the body before and after travel. So whenever everything's a stress, travel's a stress, family's a stress, food's a stress, training's a stress. And when it comes to elite competition, coaches and sports scientists are stress managers. What stressors should we try to eliminate? And then how much do we stimulate or push that athlete so we can get them in peak form, or I would say just in a good form when they show up to play?
Nice. I understand. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to say? We talked about a lot of things, and actually, I just took up my PPR certification, and I
Let's
I didn't
go.
hear anything about they didn't mention you guys, so we
We
got to
just
talk to
launched
somebody
with
about that.
PPR October 1st, so 2 days ago.
Oh, really? All right. So I did it 2 or 3 days before that. So
Yeah, so
beautiful.
I built a whole curriculum in there for coaches on how to warm up. So that should be released soon. We're building
Okay.
all sorts of curriculum for coaches, but that just got launched. An email should have just gone out a day or two ago about the partnership.
Yeah, I did it on the
I
27th, so maybe I was a couple days early.
It's going to
Um,
be in the online
anything else
part.
you All right, I will check that out. Anything
Yeah.
else you want to talk about? Because you got to be really proud of what you're doing, what you've done, and where you're
Yeah.
going.
I would just say if you're on Instagram, follow us at aim7pb is in pickleball. We put out a
Yeah, share that
ton of
with me. I'll put it on the link.
Yeah, and then our website, we put out tons of blogs. And I would just say check out the app. We got a really great community. You can try it for free, but we're here to serve you. And if you have input or feedback, please give it to us because we want to be the best and we want to help y'all.
Eric, I really enjoyed our talk. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Bill.
I look forward to that. And send us the link and we'll put it on the post. And thank you very much.
Thank you,
I'm,
sir.
I love this. Take care. Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.